Hi everybody, it's me, Kimberly, from Kimberly Speaks. My whole name is Kimberly Freilinger, for those of you that don't know me. Um, but I call my website, my blog, my vlog, and everything else Kimberly Speaks because I always want to trigger a conversation. And so my idea is that Kimberly Speaks, I start the conversation, but you keep it going. So I like to pose questions that you can ponder on in your head, on your own, or that you can ponder on in a journal or with a friend or with me. I would love to get feedback and hear your thoughts. You can post them below the video. You can go onto my Facebook page, which is Kimberly Freilinger writer, speaker, wacky woman, something like that, and become a member of that community, or find me online on my blog at kimberlyspeaks.com. But I'd love to hear from you guys. So I have some thoughts that I just want to get out today. I'm an extrovert, so I process things verbally. Introverts often work through their thoughts in their head better. Extroverts tend to work through their thoughts better by speaking them out loud. So one of my main ministry goals I wanted to explain to you guys, because I don't know if I've really explained the umbrella under which I work. And so out of this umbrella pours my heart for women. And it may come through with talking about body image or self-esteem, or it may come through talking about creativity or work. It may come through talking about mentoring other women into places that they want to be in their lives. But my big umbrella is celebrating who we are in the eyes of God. And that can be pretty daunting. I think most of us in our culture, or maybe it's just me because of my counseling background, counseling was fabulous. And I loved every one of my clients. And counseling, I'm still a big proponent of counseling. But I'm doing something different now with my ministry. And that's, instead of focusing on problems will come up, character flaws will come up, we all deal with that kind of stuff. But instead of focusing on how to get rid of that, how to change that, what's the bad stuff we need to dig up and move on, I want to focus on celebrating women. I want us to focus on celebrating our way to freedom. I want us to focus on celebrating our way to a positive body self-image. I want us to celebrate even letting go of things. Like in a retreat that I just led, I talked about letting go as a celebration. And on one hand, letting go is hard when you have to let go of control of something, because most of us like control over some things, some more than others. But the good news is we get to let go. And so there's always this dichotomy that I want to play with. And the dichotomy is we can choose to look at things we need to change, look at things that we don't like about ourselves, look at things that we wish were different, or we can celebrate the strengths that are in there. I inherently believe that God made us, one, perfectly and beautifully, and two, in his image. Those are both scriptural. And if we stand on those two things, we've got a whole lot to celebrate. So even if you've got the worst self-image possible, you're down in the dumps, you can't tell me one thing you like about yourself, or whether you're kind of on a mountaintop and you are really liking where you're at in life, or you're somewhere in between where maybe you really like your professional self and you feel really good about the work you do professionally, but you feel like you're overweight. Or maybe you really like where you're at, you finally got a food plan figured out and you've got your body figured out and you're in a healthy place physically, but maybe not spiritually, and you just don't know where you belong in God's eyes. We all have things to work on, but my umbrella ministry here, my big belief is that we can celebrate our way to seeing who we are in the eyes of God. And again, if you were brought up with kind of a scary God, a God that always wanted you to confess your sins and you had to do all these rules, and you grew up in a church that, if your hair was too long or not long enough, or too shaggy or not shaggy enough, you're allowed to listen to one kind of music but not another. You could dance but not dance that way, but you could dance this way. There's a lot of churches with a lot of rules, but what I've found is that God gives us a lot of room to be free. So I'd like to help women find freedom by celebrating how God made them. And this has been a journey that I've been on myself, really my whole life, but very much focused in the last 5 years, starting actually probably about 20 years ago when I started grad school. So grad school was a really big push into really kind of figuring out who I am. And then when I hit my 40s, it takes it to a whole new, I took it to a whole new level, and really started pushing in and figuring things out. And I figured out that it doesn't always have to be painful, and the journey doesn't always have to be a struggle, and we don't always have to be digging up dirt to figure things out. You know what? A lot of this can be done through celebration and fun, and somebody like me cheerleading you on as we go through, and instead of digging up dirt, we're digging up gold, and we dig up all these beautiful, amazing things about you and start celebrating those. I think sometimes our biggest fear is that we're not like somebody else who we really admire, or we don't think we're enough, or we think we're too much. We're just too loud, we're too big, we're too much. But I want to propose that we're just right. And we need to be celebrating those things that were formed. Our personality was formed, our body was formed, our imagination was formed, our gifts and talents were formed, and all of that is unique to us and to each individual. So when I work with women, I really want to work from this standpoint of celebration. So I'm kind of a natural born cheerleader. I wasn't just one in high school. Like I'm just a cheerleader. And so I see myself as somebody who can help mine for the gold and see things in you that maybe you aren't able to see in yourself, or help pose challenging questions to help you see these great traits, and how to emphasize those and celebrate those to get you to where you want to be in life. I do this in a few different ways. I do one-on-one mentoring through Skype. I also teach art journaling classes, which is a great way to do self-exploration, and kind of another way to just kind of figure out how you tick. And that's combined with creativity, which I think is essential for everyone. Not necessarily art journaling creativity, but being creative. So art journaling, mentoring through Skype, and I'm also a speaker. So I'm available to come to your women's group and talk about these things, talk about how we're made in the image of God, and talk about why we can stand on that, and why we can believe that these things that maybe we're scared of about ourselves or don't want to admit, maybe some of these things are really good that we can grasp and hold on to. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit more about what I do and who I am, and really my heart. I've never asked somebody to do something I wasn't willing to do myself, whether it's in mentoring, whether it's in teaching or whether it's in counseling. If I asked a client to set a boundary in their life or do something really hard or try something really new, if I knew I'd be terrified to do that, I'd go do something terrifying myself. They didn't know that, but I would. I'd do the work myself, and then I'd come back to session and I'd challenge them because I would know what it felt like. Well, I know what it feels like to be vulnerable. I know what it feels like to not like yourself, and I know how to help you celebrate your way into finding a new relationship with yourself where you can see yourself the way Jesus does, which is really a beautiful and precious thing, and something I want every woman to grasp while they're here alive on this earth. We'll get it when we go to heaven. We'll get it, but gosh, we'll be free to do ministry, to love, to be in relationships, to build our dreams, to hope, to get through hard times if we get it here and now. And we can do that. So check me out. Find me at www.kimberlyspeaks.com or kimberly@kimberlyspeaks.com for email. And let's get together and talk about what it would be like to mentor you, to get you to the place where you want to be, to where you can celebrate seeing yourself in the eyes of God. I've also got a book coming, can't promise when, but I'm working on a book on all these concepts too. So anyway, I am itching to get to work and to work with some more women and some new women. I have a sliding fee scale and everything. So don't let fear, don't let money, don't let time, don't let space, because I can work on the internet. Don't let anything hold you back. Go find me, check out my information, and I look forward to meeting you. I'm so excited. I love the heart of women, and I just love making them stronger. So my question for you is, why not do mentoring? Why not? Why not jump in and start celebrating who you are with a buddy like me, with a cheerleader on your side who's walked the path? So there we go. I started the conversation. You keep it going. All right. Thanks, you guys. I know it's a little cheesy, but I love cheesy and I love ya.